So Joshua Clottey beats the crap out of Anthony Mundine, scoring 5 knockdowns en route to a wide, unanimous points decision over 12 rounds. This was obviously a very good win for Joshua Clottey because he's been out in the cold for a long time following his loss to Manny Pacquiao. And from what I understand, it was a dispute, a family dispute that kept him out the ring this long. Not so much a promotional dispute, because Joshua Clottey has a brother who also boxes, and I believe they have some type of a relative, either it might be Joshua Clottey's mother or father, and or an uncle who is sick with some type of terminal illness. And Clottey and his brother had agreed apparently that they would take turns in looking after this particular sick relative. And it got to a stage where Clottey's brother, you know, Joshua Clottey's brother said, look, it's now your turn to look after this relative and it's my turn to have a go in boxing. Yeah, this is my understanding over the years. This is what's been going on. So I don't know what the situation is with that now, but Joshua Clottey's come back and he's got this win over Anthony Mundine, and it was a good win and a wide win. I've always thought that Joshua Clottey was a very good fighter, very solid fighter, and I think the Manny Pacquiao performance didn't really do him justice. Styles make fights, and against an opponent that's as quick and busy as Manny Pacquiao, Joshua Clottey was made to look very bad. Very, very bad in that fight. He just went into his shell and really didn't open up at all. But if you see him in his fights against Miguel Cotto, Antonio Margarito, and several other top name opponents, he looked very good. He injured himself in a Margarito fight, and had it not been for the injury, he might have won that fight because he was looking good prior to the injury. And the Miguel Cotto fight was very close. A lot of people felt that Joshua Clottey won that fight. So I've always rated Joshua Clottey quite highly. He's always had a good defense, got a good chin, and he was a massive welterweight, Joshua Clottey. This guy weighed in on fight night over 170 pounds for some of his welterweight fights. So, you know, this guy's as big as Canelo. He's a very, very big guy. So it will probably suit him a hell of a lot more to be fighting at 154. And this win over Mundine apparently makes him the #1 ranked junior middleweight with the WBA. So he'll be in line to get a shot at the Erislandy Lara Ishe Smith winner. Okay, so I think he's an interesting addition to the 154-pound ranks. I still think he's got some life left in him, and as I said, I think that weight division will suit him a hell of a lot more than 147. And he's also said that he could fight, he would like to fight the winner of Martinez Miguel Cotto, and he'll do it at 160 if the money's right. He also said he would drop back down to 147 if the money was right. Also, just one more thing about that Manny Pacquiao loss that Joshua Clottey had. Going into that Pacquiao fight, I was disturbed by some of Joshua Clottey's comments. One comment in particular is when he said that he was excited to be in a fight with Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao is his favorite fighter next to Floyd Mayweather. He said he's a big fan of Floyd and Manny. This is what he said at the time. Going in to fight a guy, he's talking about, I'm such a big fan of him, I'm so excited just to even meet him. You know, how are you going to expect to beat a guy when you're acting like a fan? You know, what kind of mentality is that to go into? I think he was overawed by Pacquiao. I think he was almost starstruck by the guy. And that really was disappointing. And probably if he fought Floyd, he would be the same. Because he probably idolizes Floyd and Manny. When you're in the fight game, you can't have no other idols in the fight game, especially if they're not around your weight class. At a minimum, you can't have no idols around your weight class. If you're fighting at world level, you have to be looking at all these guys as potential rivals and not trying to look up to them in any way. You know, Anyway, it is what it is. Drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel about Joshua Clottey's win over Anthony Mundine. Did you watch the fight? Did you think it was a good performance? Do you think Joshua Clottey can do any damage at 154 pounds? Let me know what you feel. This is Hatman. I'm out.